whispers call under the floor. She's the storm you can't ignore. 1, 2, Taylor's coming for you. 3, 4, better shut the door. 5, 6, you better get a crucifix. 7, 8, no one can escape. Midnight strikes, the clock will lie. Her reflection steals the sky. Breathless echoes start to hum. Chills that say you can't outrun. 1, 2, Taylor's coming for you. 3, 4, better shut the door. 5, 6, you better get a crucifix. 7, 8, no one can escape. Run, but your footsteps fall too loud. Her shadow's dancing in the crowd. She knows your name, she knows your fear. Turn around, she's standing near. 1, 2, Taylor's coming for you. 3, 4, better shut the door. 5, 6, you better get a crucifix. 7, 8, no one can escape. But your footsteps fall to 1, 2, Taylor's coming for you. In the shadows where nightmares brew. 3, 4, better lock the door. She's not the same as she was before. 5, 6, you better get a crucifix. Her smile twists like magic tricks. 7, 8, no one can escape. She's the storm behind the drape. She moves quiet like the coldest breeze. A haunting tune that bends the trees. No place to hide, no place to run. She's the moon eclipsing the sun. Whispered laughs from the other side. Chilling tales where secrets hide. Her shadow dances through the flame. Whispering softly, she knows your name. 5, 6, you better get a crucifix. Her smile twists like magic tricks. 7, 8, no one can escape. She's the storm behind the drape. She's back again, bringing chaos like the strongest wind. No lullaby, no sweet amen. Taylor's here until the end. One, 2, shadows creep in the room. 3, 4, whispers echo in the gloom. 5, 1, 2, shadows creep in the room. 3, 4, whispers echo in the gloom. 5, 6, her voice cuts like a knife. 7, 8, you can't run from this life. Shut the door, grip tight on that crucifix. No escape, she's weaving through the 1, 2, Taylor's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock that door. 5, 6, grab a crucifix. 7, 8, it's already too late. She's a shadow on the run, dancing dark beneath the sun. 9, 10, she's back again, whispers louder than the wind. She's the echo in the night, turning wrong into the right. Footsteps chasing down the lane, feel her breath, it's all in vain. Ooh. Faster beats, your heart's in sync. Close your eyes, don't dare to blink. Every pulse a ticking clock. Try to run, but doors won't lock. She's a shadow on the run, dancing dark beneath the sun. 9, 10, she's back again, whispers louder than the wind. Taylor's laugh, a twisted song, keeps you guessing all night long. Oh. 1, 2, you're out of time. She's the reason fear can rhyme. Oh, oh. Laugh, a twisted song, keeps you guessing all night long. 1, 2, you're out of time. She's the reason fear can rhyme. One, 2, Taylor's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock that door. 5, 6, grab a crucifix. 7, 8, it's already too late. She's a shadow on the run, dancing dark beneath the sun.
Rush. Taylor stood where tracks collide. A storm behind those steadfast eyes. The engine roared, a beast unbound. Dreams derailed with grinding sound. Spectators gasped, the sparks took flight. A wreck of truth, not just of might. But from the ash, a voice, a stare. Taylor rose with fire in their hair. Bruised, not broken, shame repelled. A tale of wreckage fiercely held.
Hey guys, so I'm on my way to the airport.
Weren't they going to have?
Hey guys, so I'm on my way to the airport right now. I'm headed out to Arizona, kind of a last minute change because of this situation with Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy Guthrie, who is missing, and it doesn't look good. I mean, the sheriff has made very clear that this is now a crime that they're investigating, that they consider Nancy Guthrie's house to be a crime scene. She went missing. She's 84 years old. Again, they say that they're investigating it as a crime at this point. And that they need the community to step up, start giving answers and calls and submitting video and that kind of thing. The sheriff was pushed about why they are calling this a crime. And he said that, Nancy Guthrie has limited mobility, that there were other things inside the house that indicated that she didn't leave. The Daily Mail is reporting right now that her cell phone and purse and keys and everything were found inside the house. She was last seen in her home in the Catalina foothills, which is near Tucson, Saturday night around 9:45. Then she didn't show up to church, according to the sheriff. And the church contacted the family. They did a search and then realized something was really, really wrong and got the sheriff's office involved. She has no cognitive issues, so she's totally with it, according to the sheriff. But she does have physical issues, and if she doesn't get her medicine within 24 hours, the sheriff said that they could be life-threatening. So again, they're not giving specifics, but clearly are saying that this is some kind of crime that they believe was committed. So I'll keep you guys posted. Flying to Arizona now, and I'll let you guys know if anything develops. Hey guys, so I'm on my way to the airport right now. I'm headed out to Arizona. Guys, so I'm outside Nancy Guthrie's home. This is her house right here, right outside Tucson, Arizona. This is where she went missing from, Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mom. First thing I noticed coming out here that you don't really get the sense from on TV is just how kind of remote the area is. This is very much not in the city. Everybody lives on, I would say, an acre or more. There's no street lights. I was out here last night. It's really, really dark. So this isn't just like kind of a typical neighborhood. It has a rural vibe. You can see all the mountains there in the background. The latest on the investigation is we have confirmed through the sheriff here that they have found DNA inside the house that they are getting tested right now. The sheriff has said that he believes Nancy Guthrie was abducted, kidnapped, probably in the middle of the night, based on the timing information that they have, and that this is still all very much an active investigation. There's a news conference coming up in a couple of hours where we're hoping to get some new updates. But again, this is the house right here. Just a terrible, terrible story. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted on any updates, and hopefully we'll learn more here in the next couple of hours. Guys, Hey guys, so I just got out of the press conference with the sheriff here in Arizona, who is heading up the investigation into the Nancy Guthrie case. Nancy Guthrie, of course, Savannah Guthrie's mom, who is missing. The FBI is now officially involved. The FBI special agent over the Tucson sector was also at the press conference. There is not a ton of new information released. I asked about we could see that it looked like there was a Ring camera that was sort of ripped off the front of Nancy's house. And I asked the sheriff about that, and he acknowledged that they have also noticed that too, and they're looking into it, which was something new. But he was much, much more guarded today and tight-lipped just overall. He was not giving a lot of information. There really wasn't any new details that came out. He made it seem like they really know nothing new. He would not, when we asked about, is there a ransom? Has anyone called with a ransom? He kind of dodged that question and said they're looking into every possible lead. So that was kind of left open-ended. So we don't.
Y'all, I'm just trying to get you all updated on what's going on inside the Nancy Guthrie case. So we're going to go through a lot of Brian Itten's shorts, and then I will go directly into what currently is going on as of last night, and so on. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in.
Don't know, do they know a lot behind the scenes and they're just not telling us? Or do they have a description of a car and they're just not telling us? Or do they really know nothing? And we just don't know. But he definitely had a more guarded tone today. than he did yesterday. That could be because the FBI is involved, and oftentimes the FBI just sort of shuts everybody down from talking. So that's the latest. I'm going to keep digging around. I'm going to go back out by the house, and I'll keep you guys posted. Hey guys, so I just got out of the press conference with the sheriff here in Arizona who is heading up the investigation. Hey guys, so I wanted to give you one more update tonight. I'm outside Nancy Guthrie's house. We have our lights on, obviously, for our TV shots, but it's like so dark out here. I just wanted to show you. You can see the moon in the background, but kind of gives you an idea. I was telling you earlier, like this isn't a normal neighborhood. It's like very rural. The houses are on a couple of acres. There's no street lights. And this is what it would have been like when they say that Nancy was likely abducted after 2 a.m. It would have been dark like this. And you like look down the street here. There's no...
Yeah, we'll get over that.
Hey guys, so I am outside of Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie's house, which is about 10 minutes from Nancy Guthrie's house, which is where Nancy went missing from. There's a lot of media. You can see all these cars. It's a lot of media here outside Annie's house. We don't know if she is home with her husband right now. She was spotted here yesterday, and the FBI, sorry, it's windy out here. The FBI was here. This is the house. The FBI was here yesterday. We saw them talking with Annie and her husband here, but it's been quiet out here today. The neighborhood's pretty similar to the neighborhood that Nancy lives in. The houses are kind of spaced out. There's a lot of land in between. So just wanted to show you guys. I'll keep you guys posted if there's any updates. The sheriff did put out a release this morning. They were rolling. So the crime scene tape is going back up outside Nancy Guthrie's house. About a dozen sheriff's deputies and FBI. I think FBI showed up here. There's also a dog, canine. We have our drone up, so I should have better video in a second, but there's another team of officers that came in this van. We don't really know what's going on because it's been quiet here for the last couple of days. But now clearly they are about to do something at the house.
Okay. So most of you guys, if you are...
Hey guys, so I'm outside the sheriff's office here in Tucson, and this is where the press conference is going to be at 11 a.m. local time in Arizona. So that would be 1 p.m. Eastern time, like East Coast time. I'm not sure. A lot of people have asked me, like, do you expect we're going to get some big update in the press conference? I really don't know.
Okay, this is where we'll start it.
If you've written a book and want to publish it to over 3 billion...
I forget about that shit. Yes, do that. That will work right now. So y'all, we're going to go into JLRs. This is from last night.
This one that says
Authorities have arrived to the house here. Sheriffs at the house of Annie and Tommaso, or authorities, some sort of agency, something like that. So, looks like some sort of search warrant going on or something. They're back at the house. Yeah. This is. So these are authorities. We'll see what they have and what they get.
And I'm going to go ahead and take me off the screen.
YouTube dashboard. It's okay though. It is dark out here. So stay with me, folks.
Ricky's.
Oh,
Jiminy's. Is it me or is it him?
Queenie?
Oh, sorry, we're just working on our shadows. And stuff.
Yeah, me too. I got like shadow. There you go.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. The shadow is. No, the shadow's me. I'm the problem. Thanks. You said that one?
All right, so people in the chat, I am in front of Annie and Tommaso's home. Authorities are back here. Authorities have just arrived here, probably about a half hour or so. Let's see what this is about. Your credit. No. Just TWS. Thank you. All right, so I'm at the house of Tommaso. So let me just show. I'm back at the home of Tommaso, and it's hard to see. The authorities came in here. They're in there. They're in there. They're back in the house, folks. So find out what's going on here. What is going on? Yeah, a lot longer than last night. Last night they were only here for like 5 minutes. Last night they were here for about 5 minutes. Now they're here again. They just came here about 30 minutes ago. These are white vehicles. Search warrant? Oh, I just saw flashes inside the house. Dude, I just saw pictures. Hey, was that your flash? Did you see the flash? Yeah. Yeah, there's flashes. There's flashes inside the house. They're taking pictures. Dude, I just saw flashes. This is Annie and Tommaso's home. Search warrant? Just a random visit at night at 9 o'clock at night? What do you think? 8:30? 8:30? They probably rolled in here after it got dark. Look, they're taking pictures. There's flashes in there. You can see them taking pictures. It's like lightning flashes in there. People in the chat, I am at Annie and Tommaso's home. Savannah assistant.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible.
Okay. Trying to figure out the layout that everyone uses. There we go. I think I figured it out. Hey. Yay. Look at me go. Okay, anyway. Anyway, they sit out there for quite some time. And while they're out there, they see flashes inside the house. Well, you guys will see.
Make sure you share this video out, folks. JLR investigates boots on the ground. Continuous coverage of the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy? Authorities now been here for quite a while. Probably we're on 2 hours now. 2 hours since they arrived here. A little bit after it got dark. I would say about 8 p.m. Mountain Time. 2 vehicles, the one you've seen here, came in. Law enforcement are in the house now, taking pictures. See lots of flashes. Don't know what else they're doing. Don't know if they're collecting evidence. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at, folks. This could be the break in the case. This could be the final nail in someone's coffin. Piece of evidence. A clue. I wonder what's going to happen at daybreak. I wonder what's going to happen in the morning. In the next couple days. They're going to find evidence here, secure more warrants. Blood in the house. Blood. A lot of people in the chat have been using the word luminol. Luminol. Luminol in the chat. Okay.
There. Maybe there.
All right, let's see what comes out here. Bright lights now. Bright lights.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Okay, so this was all last night. I'm trying to get to where they brought out the bags. Give me 1 second, guys.
don't know. What do you think? Is it looking good for Tommaso and Annie here? Yes. They've been here now for over almost 2 hours and 20 minutes now. 2 hours and 20 minutes. One left. 2 more still there. Coming out.
If you have Snap or Medicaid, you may qualify for a free iPhone or Samsung, plus up to 10 gigabytes of data.
Leave. Stay here. Oh, shoot. Came out with poster boards or something. Some sort of board. They're reading. Alright, something in the side. Passenger side door, some sort of white poster board or something. Folding table? You sit and wait. Came out with something. You sit and wait first. Mike, coming out first. Coming out. So it looks like there's 3 vehicles actually. One in the back. Yup, coming out. It's leaving. Alright, coming out. The deputy. Yeah, the deputy. Badge on. Alright, come on. Alright. Deputy.
Okay.
Yes, deputy.
So we're going to go get caught up on what's happening today. Or, sorry, one more thing I need to do.
Good. So that one's the deputy. We'll see what the other ones are.
I'm looking for the kids. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute, guys. Anyway, I'm trying to find. See if that brings up what I'm looking for, guys. We shall see if this brings up what I'm looking for. There we go. Well, it's Fox News, so I should be able to play it. Everyone else has been playing Fox News stuff.
Your talent, your style, your book. Dorrance Publishing. Helping authors.
Welcome back. I'm Austin Westfall. Savannah Guthrie posting a new video on Instagram. It seems that the family has received a message. Let's watch the post.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now. We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
That's where the video ends. It loops back to the beginning there. It's a short video, and there's still a lot to learn, but clearly a message received by the family. And Savannah saying they want the return of their mother so that they can celebrate with her. They say they will pay. The only way they will have peace is with the return of Nancy. TMZ with this earlier, saying the home of Nancy Guthrie was buzzing with police activity on Friday, with a steady stream of vehicles in and out, plus a tow truck that was seen hauling away a blue SUV as the search for Nancy continues. I have not seen any updates from police on camera today, but the FBI has reportedly placed digital billboards in states around Arizona.
I think that's where she put it. Let me go look real quick. It's kind of creepy what you're fixing to see, guys. I hate to say that, but it is. If I can find the short. I don't want your live, I want your shorts, woman. Because this is just really, really creepy. Here you go.
Kindness. Kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
Kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
Kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
So we're going to go ahead and just get caught up with everything that's going on. We'll go through JLR because he has given everyone permission to use his stuff today. Y'all, if you aren't signed up to JLR or ICML, JLR Investigates on YouTube and ICML on YouTube are both really, really good channels to watch and follow. And for the latest. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I guess we will. Hang on. Let me go one more place before we go here. Dude Ron's also a really, really good channel, and I misspelled his name. Guys, don't come for me. I'm extremely tired. I didn't get in bed until 2. Then the fire alarm went off, so I wound up getting up, or waking up a little bit about 3 o'clock. And then I got up at 7:30 this morning. But we're going to watch this. It's only like an hour long. I'll shorten it. Give me a minute.
Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to an unscheduled live stream with Crime Time with Duty Ron and Ed Wallace. I'll skip all the intros. We have breaking news. About an hour or so ago, law enforcement.
Come on. Maybe there.
Originally, I thought it was the FBI, but through clarity of live streams, through drone footage, we saw it's the sheriff's department went back there. So law enforcement back at the home of Nancy Guthrie, looking into the sewerage system, either whether it's septic or sewers, septic tank or a cesspool. One law enforcement personnel in sheriff's, actually wearing a sheriff's badge on the back. You can see clearly it's a sheriff, and it looks like a civilian from perhaps a cesspool or sewer company out at the home of Nancy Guthrie. What did you make of that, Ed? You're a crime scene expert. We look to you for clarity on this stuff. A lot of people are talking about it, but what was your take on why they went back there? Were they looking for her body stuffed inside there, or looking for things, clothing items, things of that nature, flushed down into the toilet? Let us know, Ed.
Okay, as we spoke about this yesterday in our live stream, I said that one of the things that we would be searching for in my initial response to the outside of the house is sewers, and a part of sewers, either you have waste sewers, storm sewers, and in this case, if they don't have city-supplied waste sewers, the septic system. Okay, and it appears now they're coming back and looking at potentially 2 septic systems here in the back of the house. Or it could have been also dry wells. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it appears that it could be a septic system. Now, what I saw was a law enforcement personnel and an unknown person, possibly a civilian, and looked like they went over to the pool area and took a expandable aluminum pole that we use to put a brush on or a skimmer on for maintaining the pool. And then they opened the lids on 2 of these tanks and started probing with this pole. And if they're just doing this now, they're a day late and a dollar short.
7 days.
And these systems should have been checked days ago. They should have been photographed, their location documented, the lids opened, and then lights used to look down into the bottom of these pits. And if they saw that it was filled with feces and liquid and so forth, then the systems should have been properly drained and searched. Now, you can't go down there without the proper equipment. You can't physically go into these pits without the proper safety equipment, because the septic systems create hazardous gases such as carbon monoxide and hydrogen sulfide, and it's a confined space, and so you need the appropriate hazmat teams to go down in here and search this. Yeah, look how wide these openings are. You can definitely dump a body down in here. Yeah. Okay, or other types of evidence that you're trying to hide. And probing around with a pole isn't an appropriate way of doing this.
Right. They're trying to mark this off their checklists of items searched, a day late and a dollar short, like you said. But poking a stick around to see levels, that's what you would normally see a septic company come. They poke the stick in there and say, "Oh, you're about 3/4. You need a pump out," or whatever the case may be. But here, let's take a listen. This was about an hour or so ago, 11:02 a.m. Mountain Time. So let's look at this and listen to what they had to say. This is what we're talking about. And then we're going to get into what happened after we went live last night and we were done. They went over to the home of Annie Guthrie, or Annie's house, which is where the last place Nancy Guthrie, her mom, was found, was the night of her disappearance. So let's take a listen and let's watch this.
Again, the aforementioned senior correspondent, Alicia Acuna, outside the home there. Alicia, we're watching these pictures from the Fox flight team. Clearly, there is something happening over there. We don't know exactly the nature of it. What can you tell us from your vantage point?
Hi, Kevin. I can set the scene here for you. About an hour and a half ago, we had a sheriff's deputy come up, park in front of the home. That caught everyone's attention. Now, not too long ago, within the last 20 minutes or so, we saw an unmarked vehicle with law enforcement drive up. The two spoke, they got back in their cars, and then we saw yet a third member of law enforcement walk up. 3 people walked to the back, 2 to 3 people walked to the back, and you can see them now. And they are what our drone team is describing to us. The Fox flight team is describing this as possibly a manhole. I heard Jonathan say that it could be some sort of water drainage. Either one of those is possible. We're not quite sure. But they've been poking around in there, almost like they're looking for a sample of some sort. Looking into this area. We've been kept back just a bit, actually. Usually when they have some sort of activity here at the site of Nancy Guthrie's home, we're often pushed back. The media is pushed back so they can do their job. Clearly, they're not concerned about that right now because we've all been allowed to stay as law enforcement continues its work to the back. Kevin?
Let me ask you about the searches that were happening, Alicia, Saturday over at the home of Annie Guthrie. Have you heard anything about the nature of those searches?
Everything we've gotten has been from our Fox Digital team. They were on site when about 4.5 hours after Savannah Guthrie and her siblings released that most recent video, they arrived at that home. They were there for about 2.5 hours. And according to our Fox team on the ground there, they could see, they could hear clanking, some noise being made. They could also see in the garage area what seemed to be flashes of light coming from a camera. And then they noticed in another whole opposite side of the house, we don't know if it was a bedroom, but it was definitely a different room. They started seeing flashing lights, camera flashes, they assumed as well.
And I hate to interrupt these things, but we have to. What is this guy doing? What is he doing with that stick?
I don't know if he knows what he's doing, but he's poking around down there. I don't know if he's looking, to see the depth, or is he poking around to see if he's going to impact a body or anything like that. Now, I will tell you that, in some clandestine burial grave crime scenes that we've been to, that they make these T-rods that we do use to probe the ground, looking to impact a skeletal remain, or in my case, it was a suitcases full of skeletal remains, because a mafioso disposal expert named Tommy Karate used to cut up the people that the mafia would murder in a bathtub in Brooklyn, and then put them in suitcases, come out to Staten Island and go into this wooded area and bury them in the suitcases. And so we got a tip based upon a wiretap that he had done this in this area, and we went looking for them, and we did in fact find them. Right. We used ground penetrating radar, we used all kinds of things, but it was in a wet clay type environment. And when we tried all the other methods and it didn't work, and then when we did the probes, we hit the suitcases with the probes, and we were able to dig up those suitcases and recover those remains.
Hey Ed, with right next to the secondary, this is the second manhole cover, or whatever you want to call it, cap that they've taken off. It looks like there is some type of either electrical box here. Ed, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the master architect. What do you make of where my cursor is here? This white kind of squared box. It looks like it could be an outlet of some sort.
I don't know. Maybe it's a sensor, or maybe it's something that's wirelessly feeding back information about what's going on inside of this tank. Say the tank fills up and it needs to be drained. Right. Maybe it's something like that. I'm not familiar with that. I haven't seen that, but it could be just an outlet, an electrical outlet that's run out there to assist in the servicing of this location. Now there are two open holes. There's one where the gentleman to the upper right is right now, and you can see the lid up to you can see the lid now over there, and then this one, and they're right behind. You can see the air conditioned condenser units, so they're right behind the structure of this house. Okay, but again, this all should have been done more appropriately early on in the investigation. Okay, if it hasn't already been done so, okay, properly in the beginning, and now they're just coming back maybe based upon new information they got from that cryptic email from the kidnappers, or whatever the case, or they really do need to properly search these tanks.
Yeah, and like you said before we went live, this is so improper. This is so Bush League. This guy has a flashlight, and he's looking as he's poking. You know, again, the purpose, time is of the essence here. Why on day 7? Today is Sunday, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is now a full 1 whole week, 7 days. You would have thought if they were going to do something like this, it would have happened on day 1 or 2. Not on day 7, and that's the frustrating part. And you know, people are getting confused and be like, "Well, why were they searching last night back at Annie's house, at Annie Guthrie's house? They came out with 1 brown bag, and we're going to get into that in the second half of this. But they didn't bring an awful lot of stuff out, evidentiary wise, as far as the video captured. And he had a folding table that, as you mentioned, he probably brought that in to set up his equipment on or to work with, like a folding table, right?
Yeah. And I'm hoping here at this site that, again, that, you know, they did the proper documentation. They dropped an infrared or thermal imaging camera down in there, or, you know, they shined lights down in there to get a visual as to how high the excrement and the liquids were in these tanks. And, you know, and now they're putting the covers back on, and they're going to later on go back and take that pool, that aluminum pole, and put it back by the pool.
Look how light those covers are. You just pick that thing right up and just.
Yeah, no, they're plastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a difficult thing to do. And again, look, they want to leave no stone unturned. But like I said in the beginning of this, the time is of essence here. And I think that if there was anything inside there, as you said, this is not probably the proper way to fully check that off the box, like septic system, drainage system, or whatever that is, was completely checked. You got 2 people. You got 1 detective who probably doesn't have a lot of experience in this, and people are all pointing a finger at the sheriff. The sheriff that was giving the press conferences, he is not doing the investigation. I mean, let's be clear about that, right? The Sheriff Nanos is not doing 1 bit of investigating. He's just an executive. You know, he's the top dog, but he is not conducting any part of this investigation. It's the homicide squad and the FBI. So, you know, when asked who's the lead on this, he said, "There's no lead. We're all working together." Did you hear him say that, Ed?
I did.
Here in the 2.
So what were you going to say, Ed?
No, I'm just befuddled by the organization here and how things are being done and when things are being done. And I'm just a little confused as to their operations.
Yeah. Gayla Dennison, who is a great friend of the show, she says in the chat, "Ed, you need to offer some remediation training for the Pima County Sheriff's investigators." Look,
do you remember the case in Connecticut that we covered extensively? I forgot the name of
Otis Doulos.
Yes. So they went into his septic system in the back there, and they drained the whole thing out, to search the contents of that septic system. So I mean, this is in these types of situations, these are kind of standard practices these days.
Yeah. Again, I'm not quite sure how much experience they have in this type of case. How many times has the Pima County Sheriff's Department handled a high-profile case like this? Probably this is their first. But again, they have a lot of resources. He said at the podium that he didn't even have to call the FBI. Usually the FBI has to be called in, Ed. You know that for a fact. FBI doesn't always come and say, "Hey, here we are. Can we help you?" This was on the national stage. The FBI director, Cash Patel, probably told his team and his people, "Hey, reach out, see if they need help." And that's how this went down. And now they have the full resources of the FBI, and we saw them at that house doing a very thorough. I asked you last night, what's the attack plan? What's the game plan? They have an attack plan. They go in and they do a attack meeting in a controlled environment, and they look at the schematics of the residents and they check off their checklist. Now, yes, they did get a late start with this thing. And that first day when the sheriff said, we are air assets, we have fixed wing drones, we have fixed wing aircraft, we have helicopters, we have this, we have that. We covered some of the best searchers on the ground. Do you think one of the searchers stumbled across this and said, hey, this might be something that we would want to search. Like if Dave Rader and Twyla Cisco were on the ground here with the team, they would be like, we want to look at this, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just those. It's going to be the whole neighborhood, okay? Because obviously, in this case, there's no city sanitary sewers, and all the other neighbors are going to have a very typical or similar setup as to this. And, and if all of this is in behind their houses and at night you really can't see anything, it wouldn't be too difficult to just, walk over to the neighbor's adjoining property and open up the lid to one of these things and dump evidence in it or dump the victim in it, God forbid, right? And
pieces of a victim or clothing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Things of that nature that, we saw with Rex Heuermann some 17 years later or whatever, 13 years later, they opened up his drain in his bathroom. Remember that, Ed?
Mm-hmm.
They opened up that little drain hole in his bathroom floor, and then they cut part of his tub out to get to him.
I've done that numerous times. The traps, I've taken the traps out of sinks and out of showers and tubs and toilets and so forth and so on. I've removed numerous things like that in the hopes of gathering evidence. And sometimes we get hairs, and sometimes we get blood, and sometimes we get even maggots. And the maggots are good evidence.
Right, because they're eating whatever's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ed, I want to just go to the chat. If you're a first-time viewer and you're new, and I'd like to give a couple of shout-outs if we can, because it's only fair to the live chat. Our audience is what's most valuable to us. So the live studio, the live audience. While if you're new, Scotland is checking in. A lot of people from international and checking out.
Yeah. Alba.
Yeah, Ed showing off. You're show off, Ed.
Okay.
But New Mexico is here. Good to see you. Pennsylvania, Langhorne, watching from Ireland.
Erin Gobra.
Lindag 7109, new from Massachusetts. Hopefully not Canton. Oh, it doesn't matter. There's some good people in Canton. Hello from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Good to see you. Thank you.
Okay, Alberta.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat.
Yeah, Midland, Texas, Cape Town, South Africa, Michigan, Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, we got them from all over Central Arkansas, Colorado, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. All right.
Love it.
In Europe, doesn't say where. New Yorkshire, England. Okay, cheers, mate. And New Zealand.
Look at this one.
Kia ora.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Come stai? Bene, molto bene. Ciao.
Aspet.
Yes. All right, Philippines is checking in. Liz from
Senegal. All right, Philippines. I was just there.
Where were you, Ed, when you were in the Philippines? If you don't mind. Manila. Nice. Wow, a humongous international audience watching this case. This is just going to show how far the reach is getting. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hit our notification bells, so this way you'll get all things Duty Ron and Ed when we go live or upload another video. Just to give you a little background, Ed Wallace is a retired New York City first-grade detective, crime scene expert. Ed was a leader in his field, processed over 2,700 crime scenes while working 2 decades in the New York City Police Department. I worked in the Fugitive Enforcement Division, so I was great at hunting down violent criminals, and I did that for over a decade. And then my other decade was spent on the street, working in narcotics, working in, plain clothes and so forth. So yeah, it's great to see everybody here. Thank you from my couch, says Hoppy. Good to see you. Thank you. A lot of different people. Look, I saw Sweden in the chat. Yeah, look at that.
Lafayette, Louisiana. Right. I know that area well.
Oh, yeah. So it's a shame because Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, is the victim here. We don't know if she's dead or alive, but we do know that her daughter last night gave a 20-second plea to the abductors, kidnappers, whatever you want to call them. We don't know if it's one or more, but we'd have to assume there would be more than just one person to handle an abduction of this nature, offering to pay whatever it is. Now, the pay supposedly was what, $6 million in cryptocurrency, Ed?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of coin. But again, we talked about this last night. It's so important if you have elderly parents to pay for that annual subscription, month to month, annual. I pay it annually. Have cameras on the inside and outside of the home of elderly, who, especially ones that can't get around well. What if they fall? You know, even that life alert. I've fallen and I can't get up. My stepmom is in her 80s. She lives alone all the way out in Suffolk. She has a life alert and she wears it around her neck. We have Ring video doorbell cameras outside, in the back by the shed, in the back of the house. So we pay for that. If you have an elderly mother or father who insists on living alone and wants to be, independent, then you got to try to have that buffer there. And that's what we could learn from this. There's a takeaway. Many of us do have elderly parents. You, Ed, yourself, have that going on. It's important that you take care. We have to look out for our elderly loved ones. They looked out for us when we were babies, right? So
it's our duty.
It's our duty. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Jersey Dogs in the chat says $6 million doesn't sound like too much when Savannah is worth over $40 million. So why did they hesitate to pay the ransom?
Well, I know initially there was no proof of life.
Right. Yeah.
But now it appears, from the video last night that Nancy may be dead, and they were going to pay just to recover the body so they can give her a proper burial.
Yeah. EM organizer says, good question. Why would the police let media drones cover this? We've been seeing drone footage for days now.
Yeah. Well, if there is no restrictions on flying the drones in this area, how are they going to stop it?
Right.
So we're just going to speed them up a little bit.
Yeah, as long as there's no restrictions. But we heard last night on a couple of media outlets that we put on that there was, I think it was from Brian Enton. He was interviewing the retired Border Patrol agent. He said there's a light ordinance in Tucson. You can't have lights because of some university project that's going on. And the sheriff's department and search and rescue weren't allowed to use floodlights. This would be an emergency exception in my eyes, right? Let me know what you think in the chat.
Okay, guys, let me cut that off right there. I can tell you what the light ordinance is and why. I don't know what happened. I think I just exited out of YouTube. Oh my God. The light ordinance is because they study the stars out there. And if you don't have a clear sky with no lights, trust me, it's hard to see the stars. Out where Nancy and them live, I lived out there in an apartment complex. It's dark out there. It's very dark out there. Yeah, and I know all you guys are like, you live in an apartment out there? Yeah, I actually used to work a real job and used to have the money to do so. Used to. Anyway, it's for the studying of the stars. It's nothing too grand.
It's an emergency exception, an 84-year-old, limited mobility, heart condition, medications, possible abduction, to floodlight the shit out of this whole area. I mean, I don't think anybody would complain about that, but they didn't do it. That's crazy. That to me is just mind-boggling. For public, in the best interest of public safety, saving a human life, or finding somebody who's lost or elderly that walks off. In the beginning, they didn't know what the hell happened. So they didn't light up this place. I find that shocking. I really do. I find it shocking. And it just is a testament to how insane things are nowadays. And, look, rules are made to be broken in emergency situations like this. This place should have been lit up like a Christmas tree, but it wasn't. So.
Yes.
Ed, I wanted to ask you, the search last night at Nancy Guthrie's home, which is from this location, they went in there in the middle of the night. They probably got a court order, obviously, from a judge. The home was vacant. Do you think, and I'm going to ask you two questions. Do you think that they were notified to vacate the premises, that we were going to be coming in hot on Saturday night, or were they, because they couldn't stay there anymore, or they were afraid that they're maybe at a new location? Because we're going to talk about safety for the Guthrie family. Don't forget, Savannah has children, is married, and has kids. They don't look young, but they're various different ages, and safety could be an issue. But what were they going in there to do, Ed? What were they checking? It didn't look like a big contingent there. It looked like we saw one detective or one sheriff's deputy come out with a brown paper bag. And what's in those brown bags? That was a lot, Ed, but I got it out.
I don't know what they were doing now. If they can either get consent from the daughter and the son-in-law, or a warrant from a judge. And then if they got a warrant, then they have to serve the warrant on the individuals that own the property, and then they make their entry per the warrant. They do the prescribed work that's in the warrant, and then they leave. Now, they went in there with a table, and they came out there with that table and a brown paper bag containing unknown items. Now, usually when we're using brown paper bags, we're putting evidence that may contain DNA in that type of packaging. So don't know exactly what they did in the garage. We did see them take some photographs. I saw the flash pop off several times through the windows, and the press was out there in the streets, and they managed to capture that the flash going off while they were taking photographs inside there. And then they put up some kind of materials and possible clothing and so forth over the windows to kind of keep the press from being able to look inside to see what they were actually doing in there.
The press and public have had quite a good video shots of the home here that we're looking at, Nancy Guthrie's home, and also Annie's home as well. But we saw our good friend Brian Enton walk up to the front of the Guthrie residence of Nancy's home, and we saw bird feces droppings, and we saw the blood. We looked at that, and we went over that last night.
Yeah, there also appeared to be broken glass there too.
There was a lot of different debris. I saw an Amazon package to the right as well that was not touched or picked up. But the thing of it is what I have a hard time as well looking past, is that the sheriff's department knows that they have a huge high-profile case on their hands. What would it hurt? What would it have harmed if they took one cruiser with one or two deputies in it and sat it in the driveway with the turret lights, or out on the street with the turret lights in? That would have prevented people from coming up on that property even after they took the crime scene tape down. Because remember we talked about this with Barbara Butcher with the University of Idaho Brian Koberger case. They had that crime scene tape up for like a month. Remember? Mm-hmm. And then they took the tape down. Once that tape's down, it's free reign for anybody to come up on it, to trespass, for people who are nosy and that just want to get a look and go around. So now that property, they know that there's nobody there from the family, and they know that no cops are there. It's free game for anybody. And look, this is day 7. This was this morning, just hours ago. They're out there poking around in the septic system or the drainage system or whatever the hell that is there, and anybody could have popped off that cover and did the same thing if they were nosy. No?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely, because like all of these things seem to be behind the houses, and there doesn't appear to be like in this case, this property has a brick wall around the main portions of the back area, but behind that wall are open areas like this where apparently the septic system covers and so forth are located that are not walled in and or protected in that manner.
Yeah. You see the papers here. This might be maybe some type of schematic of the system, perhaps, Ed?
Or I believe the sheriff's officer was holding a pad or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Sarah Irish from the chat said it should have been a crime scene from the beginning. They deemed it a crime scene up front. The sheriff was clear about that. This is a crime scene. A crime happened inside there. So what was the upside to breaking that crime scene tape? What would it have hurt them to leave yellow crime scene tape around the whole entire perimeter of that property, or that circular driveway, those 2 entrance points, or if there were more, have crime scene tape? What would it have hurt to just leave it up? And that's the problem the biggest problem, well, one of the many, but one of the biggest problems I have, is that they let this thing open and left this thing open for free game for anybody.
Well, see, that's the thing. In the beginning, in these types of cases, you don't, with all the twists and turns that occur in these investigations, what does it hurt to hold the scene as long as possible? I know, you may have a lack of manpower or whatever the case may be, but you're telling me that you can't secure this location for a greater period of time and maintain its integrity. This way, if you have to come back, which they have multiple times now, come back to the scene and
right.
looking for new evidence and so forth, that now you can say, hey, it was secured. So the evidence that we're finding in here now isn't tainted.
Right. And I trust your expertise with over, the amount of crime scenes that you've processed. And I keep going to this. Practice makes perfect, and you have a ton of expertise. And when you see stuff like this, you and I have been doing this since 2021. It's so frustrating because, you look at this and you teach this stuff. There's national standards to follow, and it just blows our minds, and especially yours, because this is the field of expertise that you were in the New York City Police Department, largest police department in the United States. And you see this stuff, and it's just mind-blowing, because you want to live in these nice, cushy areas in rural America, but you pay a price when, God forbid, a situation like this happens. And, you know, people will get mad when, you know, we critique what's going on, and it's not Monday morning quarterback. We're looking at what's happening, just like you guys are looking at it. But Ed, you teach forensics and evidence collection. I've sat in on one of your, you know, I didn't sit in for the whole class, but I've sat in on the massive amount of equipment and expertise that you show many different departments throughout the United States and across the world, for that matter.
Yeah,
this is goddamn frustrating.
Right, and I know every jurisdiction is different, but you know, and our New York City Police Department, it isn't fair to compare all our assets and capabilities to these other departments, because we have far greater assets and capabilities than most law enforcement agencies. So everything that would have been needed to be done in that septic tank, we could have done in-house, all by ourselves, without having to call a septic company or any of that other stuff. And our emergency service unit, and we have all the equipment needed to go down safely into these tanks once and go and search inside of the tank, protected from the environment down there in a confined space and so forth. So we're very different, but that doesn't mean, okay, if your agency doesn't have those assets, you know, that you can't get them with a mutual aid agreement, or ask the feds, who definitely have those assets, to come in and assist with this as well, to help search those septic tanks. All those septic tanks in that immediate area, you know, should be looked at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surrounding neighbors, I'm sure that they've interviewed all the surrounding homes in that area. You know, we know that they went to that gas station and they pulled, you know, video and a vehicle, and there's a lot of behind the scenes work that we're not privy to that's happening in this case. So kudos to the men and women who are working night and day on this thing. It's just that with the way we have coverage like this drone footage from today, I mean, when you called me and told me about this, I raced home to see it, and when I found it, I was shocked, because I learned so much in the years that we've been together about, you know, the standards and the steps that need to be taken to preserve. Because think about it, Ed, if they collar somebody, this is evidence that's got to be presented in court. You know, this has to uphold in a court of law. So it has to be done right. And, you know, yes, granted, we don't know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Remember how long we saw them inside Nancy Guthrie's home with the cameras? We saw the cameras flashing. They were in a particular room, whether that was her bedroom or whatever room that was. There was a lot of investigators coming in and out of that residence. But, you know, it has to uphold in the courts, and it has to be done right. As you said, there's no do-overs. Crap in, crap out. I hate to say it like that, but that's what you say, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go to the chat as we watch this. I'm going to change gears a little bit, and let's answer a couple of questions. So,
okay.
Hope always 247 says, do you two believe it was a kidnapping?
We'll finish watching this. I'm just going to mute it because, well, I don't like reading other people's chats. That's just me. Let's see. Can we go back? I think that's pretty much like it. Let me look real quick.
On interior stuff, it looked like a well-kept ground. So we know there was groundskeepers, landscapers. They're not doing it themselves. They're certainly not. You have a beautiful pool, beautiful property, well-kept grass and groomed in the backyard. So it is a large-scale investigation. Look, this is a look at the house, and this drone footage is, look, you look at the news media out front. So everybody has direct access to this place right now. But it's anybody's guess of what happened to Nancy. But what we do know is that she's missing. She's gone. And without medication, the chances of her being alive with bleeding. Ed, you saw the droplets of blood. You described that last night. Can you just go over that again quickly about those? We saw the little drops, but then we saw that one area with tons of little droplets down there. Can you just go over?
Well, there was a significant amount of what we call 90-degree blood drops, meaning they're, you know, the person that is letting the blood out is dripping blood down with no force greater than gravity, and creating these large circular stains, which suggests that the impact angle was 90 degrees. Okay. Now, the size of the stains are a function of what it impacts, the volume of blood, and the height that the blood drops. Okay. Now, there are other stains that are commingled, very tiny blood drops. Okay. That are commingled with some of the larger drops, and then you can sequence those. But you can see in this area that it's very slow movement. There's hesitation here. That person that deposited all of this had to be in this area for some time. Now, if you back it up just a little bit, in the next tile over, you'll see another series of drops that suggest right there. You'll see another series of drops. Those are multiple drops there. that suggests that that person was there. Again, hesitation. They're there for a period of time to drop that amount of blood there. So it's like someone was like maybe holding the victim there, waiting for something, or and the victim was bleeding there, and then they slowly moved towards the front. And you're trying to look also to see if you could see any directionality in the blood drops by the spines around the drops.
That's the blood droplets.
Now, again, could this be aspirated or blood? Yes, it could be.
Or sneezing, is that what you're meaning?
Coughing, sneezing, or spitting. Right, but there's also blood dripping into blood here. Okay, so that creates what we call these satellite splatters in 360 degrees. Now, if she did spit this out of her mouth or something like that, then there'll be amylase and saliva commingled with the blood, and that should, if you swabbed it, the analyst should be able to find that very easily.
Yeah, and this was given to us. We were able to see this courtesy of News Nation. Brian Enton, he walked up either with his cell phone or his camera guy who's with him all the time. And this was after. They're not trespassing. The tape was taken down. I mean, technically it's private property, but whatever the case may be, they're free to go up and knock on the door to try to ask questions. And that's what he did. He knows the guidelines to follow. The crime scene tape was down. The sheriffs left. There was no authority at the Guthrie residence. And therefore, Brian or anybody with a camera or a phone or anybody could have walked up and recorded this. But I'm actually happy that he did record it, because it gives us a little bit of insight into what Nancy Guthrie went through, because we know that this blood, according to the sheriff, was sent to the lab and confirmed to be hers. Correct, Ed?
Yes.
Experience Japan on a journey customized to you. Explore future.
All right, that was a great description of the blood. Anybody else have blood questions in regards to this this reporting? Let's look at the chat real quick. Put your questions in the chat. #Ed, #DutyRon, and we'll gladly answer if it's about the blood here or about anything as far as the case goes.
Keep rolling that footage right where the last stains were. I mean, okay. Yeah.
I don't see broken glass.
No. There's a lot of bird droppings and so forth.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an overhang, and birds are probably, again, roosting up top and crapping there. Probably.
Is it considered a lot of blood? No, not really. It's not considered a lot of blood. Lip bleeds, nose bleeds can be they can bleed a lot. But she was also on blood thinners, so that concerns me very much. I mean, yeah, if she was on blood thinners, and this is her blood. We know it's her blood.
There's a bird in Tucson, if it eats a certain type of berry, and they're saying there's a lot of bird droppings there, it looks like blood, and it will pull up like that. Matter of fact, whenever I was home health nurse out there, I come up to a house and I knocked on the door and I'm looking around and it looks like there's blood all over the ground. And I'm like, what? All over these red bricks like this. And I'm like, what in the world? And I knock on the lady's door. She tells me, come on in. I go in. I'm like, did you have an accident or a nosebleed? What's this blood? And she goes, oh, honey, that's not blood. Because it does just what this stuff does. Unless LE comes out and says, yes, that was blood, I don't think that was blood. Anyway, let's go back to Ron. What he had.
That could be a very serious, a very minute cut or a minor impact to a lip or nose that cause bleeding can be quite dangerous. Okay, depending on the dosage of the blood.
Okay, let's get forward.
Or by the missing ring camera or whatever that was there. Yeah, I don't see any white fingerprint powder, because usually if we're going to use powders, we're going to use a contrasting color powder to the background. So the background here is dark. We'd use white. In many cases, I don't see it. That doesn't mean that it wasn't done. It could have been done and then wiped down, but I don't know many crime scene techs that wipe down their work after they're done. It's usually still there. So I don't know if this area was swabbed for DNA, if they made a decision somewhere down the line not to dust for fingerprints and go for DNA and swab that area. So therefore, if they swabbed it, then, you know, if there was, and they didn't process for DNA, fingerprints first, then the fingerprints could have been disturbed if they went with that methodology, processing DNA first and so forth. And then they didn't want to process for fingerprints.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't look like it's been processed on the outside.
Now, what gets scary to me is the fact that I have something to say. Give me one moment. I'm trying to. What's scary to me is the fact that all these people are out there, and it's a wild hog. It's called a jabalina, and they are very, very vicious wild hogs. Like, very vicious. I've seen them go on people's property, tear up the property. I've seen them, in the middle of town. They don't scare easily. And they're just really, really gnarly little animals out there. Last night, you could hear the coyotes. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so close. Not really. You got to realize you're in a canyon. And with being in a canyon like that, stuff echoes. And it echoes loud. I heard a gunshot out there one time. And it was so loud that you would have thought it was in someone's apartment in my building. But it's been an interesting, with this case. Let's go ahead and jump on over to JLR. I know we started there. Let's go ahead and jump on over to JLR. I want to see what's going on. I haven't seen yet. We've been over here for a little while. Because here in a little bit, I'm going to be leaving. So I'm going to end the live and then I'm going to come back and start a new one. But I want to know what's going on right this second. I'm a little nosy. So we're just going to go ahead and jump on over here. For anyone who can't stand JLR, I am sorry. But he is there. He is in front of the house. I guess my channel can give him a like at least, right? For doing this for us. And either it's him or me, one of the two.
I was in Moscow, Idaho, was like this, but Brian Laundrie went on for like 6.
Okay. Make it full screen.
Weeks.
Give me a second. I'm getting it up and going.
The laundry case was crazy.
That was in the wintertime. You were having fun to ride.
No, that was August through October, September through November. 6 weeks in that time frame. 2021.
That's what people think, but everybody's coming with.
I know people think it's cartel. People definitely think there could be a cartel element. The people have said, well, shit, Nanos is compromised. He's been in law enforcement in this area for 50 years.
Ugh.
He turns a blind a cartel. Is it cartel? Do you all think this is cartel? Does anyone think it's cartel?
Well, why would they say 6 million versus 5 or 10 or 20? What's 6 million? Why 6 million? That's what people
Yeah, why 6? Why the number 6? Why 6 million? What's 6 million? Who needs 6 million? So cartel, we got Epstein files. How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How you doing? Yes.
This is JLR. Hello.
Oh, yeah. We met yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, I was a local reporter here. You were doing a live stream. The 2 deputies came up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
What's going on?
Oh, I'm there for 2 minutes. They just were up there now.
Yeah,
For nothing.
that's what I saw.
People are there, they're just making calls.
And then did you see the PCSD just sent out a message saying the deputies would be here all day?
Okay.
Because
Hello, welcome in. We're in front of Nancy Guthrie's house.
All right, so there's some new information. They said that they're going to be here all day because of what they requested the Guthrie family. Is that good information?
Give me 1 minute. I'm dropping his whole chat because I don't really want that up at the bottom. And while I'm gone, I can go ahead and charge the laptop. Considering everything just went dark. So up to date, there is no new news on Nancy Guthrie, as you guys can see. I am going to go do something really, really quick. Let me see here. Should I send it to... I guess I'll send it to myself. What is his name? And this is what we're going to be doing on Thursday. Yes, I know everyone's live. Here. Give me 1 moment. Let me too.
What is going on, guys? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 24-year-old Donovan Dickerson, who is missing out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Donovan is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Donovan was last seen on the 8th of November, 2024 in the Dogwood Drive area of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He is a member of the Quapaw tribe, and he was last known to be wearing a green Carhartt jacket, blue jeans, and gray Crocs. His family and friends are extremely concerned for Donovan's safety and his well-being. Anyone who has any information on Donovan or his whereabouts is asked to contact the Muskogee Nation Lighthorse Police Department at 918-732-7800.
Okay.
What is going on, guys? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 24-year-old Donovan Dickerson, who is missing out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Donovan is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Donovan was last seen on the 8th of November, 2024 in the Dogwood Drive area of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He is a member of the Quapaw tribe, and he was last known to be wearing a green car.
If I can't find the one that he sent me earlier, I'll just resend it to myself. Give me a minute. Let me scroll through. A little bit of information about Donovan. Donovan is autistic. Okay. I'll just do it this way. Well, yeah, I'll just do it this way. Give me a minute, guys. What am I doing? I am looking for something. That's what I'm doing. Give me a minute. Like I said, give me a minute, y'all. I've got to send it over to my other Facebook. Or I could just say, stop sharing. Close. Oh, hang on. Hold that thought. Don't jump ahead of yourself, Taylor. Let's try to get it over there. Hold up. I'm waiting. That does not look like the right. Just a second. Guys, work with me. I am sorry. Oh, yoy. Oh, there it is. Finally, it come through. Okay. Come on, work. Work with me, baby. I have one more thing to show you guys before I end this live. And then come back probably in about 2 hours. So give me a minute while I work on getting stuff pulled up. Okay, we just watched that one, I think. I have an interview, I hope Thursday, with the mother of Mr. Donovan. Hey, it's starting to really, really irritate me right this second, guys. The fuck? Hold on. Back it up. Oh, my Geminis. No, I don't need that up. I don't even need that open. Obviously. I could hit open an app and make my life easier. Okay. Maybe. Hopefully. Oh, okay. That's what that was. All right. Add. Share screen. There. Thank you very much. So I want to play it twice.
Is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 24-year-old Donovan Dickerson, who is missing out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Donovan was last seen on the 8th of November, 2024. He is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Donovan does suffer from autism. It is unknown what Donovan was wearing at the time of his disappearance, and his possible direction of travel is also currently unknown. Donovan's family and friends are extremely concerned for his safety and his well-being. Anyone who has any information on Donovan or his whereabouts is asked to get in contact with the Whitehorse Police Department at 918-732-7800. What is going on, guys? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 24-year-old Donovan Dickerson, who is missing out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Donovan was last seen on the 8th of November, 2024. He is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Donovan does suffer from autism. It is unknown what Donovan was wearing at the time of his disappearance, and his possible direction of travel is also currently unknown. Donovan's family and friends are extremely concerned for his safety and his well-being. Anyone who has any information on Donovan or his whereabouts is asked to get in contact with the Whitehorse Police Department at 918-732-7800. What is going on, guys? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 24-year-old Donovan Dickerson, who is missing out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Donovan was last seen on the 8th of November, 2024. He is 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Donovan does suffer from autism. It is unknown what Donovan was wearing at the time of his disappearance, and his possible direction of travel is also currently unknown. Donovan's family and friends are extremely concerned for his safety and his well-being. Anyone who has any information on Donovan or his whereabouts is asked to get in contact with the Whitehorse Police Department at 918-732-7800.
All right. Y'all, look at his face. I don't know what I just did. I will. Y'all, I want you guys to have a pleasant next 3 hours. And we will meet, well, maybe not even 3, maybe 2, because I'm going to eat and go get me something to drink and stuff. And then we'll be back live. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Well, actually, no, not the rest of your day. Have a great rest of the evening. Oh, for a little bit, I'll be back live. This was short notice. I didn't even give my mods a heads up. So, y'all, love you all. Have a great day.